doing this one more time, ladies and gentlemen. We're bringing you episode 100 and let me get this right, 162, Deval.
Mm.
And it's Halloween. We're recording this on Halloween. So for any listeners out there, happy Halloween. And Deval, anything scary happened to you?
I looked in the mirror this morning, and yeah, that's it.
That
That's
is it.
scared me for
I went,
life.
I went, I went trick or treating today with the kids. Actually,
Oh, you did? Okay.
yeah,
What
went trick or
happened?
treating with the kids. You know
Yeah.
what? Everyone was looking at me really, really strange, and I was like, "Why is
Mm-mm.
everyone looking at you?" And they're like, "Oh my gosh, how did you get that like mask? That's a really good mask." And I was like, "What are you talking about? This is just my face." Fuck. It's like rude, guys. Like I
That's what
don't
you
even know
get,
you, and
man.
you were taking the piss.
See, black and brown people going trick or treating. It's like
It's just like
they're scared
it's
of
just
us
the
anyway.
little.
Yeah,
It's
they're
weird.
scared of us anyway. You're going out in Halloween. Yeah, asking them
Open
for
the
shit,
door.
knocking their door.
And they see a brown guy, they go and they're like,
Exactly.
whoa, like shit,
The
man.
ring alarms
Imagine
going
that.
brown alert, brown alert, brown alert. A brown person is at your door.
Trust me, man.
Oh
Seriously.
my god.
Um, all right, listen, look, yeah, thanks for downloading another episode of The Flixters. Deval and I, we are going to be bringing you film reviews. We've got a couple film reviews that we want to get through,
Mm,
actually.
yeah.
And yeah, and obviously we're going to be, there's going to be movie news, there's going to be anniversary corner. So stick with us. And as always, remember, keep up the debate going over on our Instagram. Deval, that's where a lot of people get in touch with us, right?
Yep. A lot of people. Instagram's quite a good tool. I didn't really used to
Mm,
use it before, but now I'm having to use it a lot more because, a lot of people, we chat on there, we socialize. So I'll do today's shout outs. The first
yeah,
shout out goes to who's the first shout out goes to? It goes to Zakharov. Zakharov, last night I posted that I'm watching The Thing, the 1982 for Halloween. Really, really great movie. If you can also watch the prequel, which Zakharov
yeah,
reminded me of, prequel was 2011. It's a really seamless, mix right into the 1982 film. So watch the 2011 one first, then the 1982. I
yeah,
guarantee you'll have a great experience. So
yeah.
if you
It's
can do
good.
that, do it. Really good couple of movies. Next one goes out to Nina Artisan. I asked people on Instagram, what are your top five favorite horror movies? And she said The Shining, Us,
Great.
Eraserhead, old school film,
Oh, old
Midsommar,
school.
which we saw in
Yeah.
2019, good
Yes, we
film,
did.
and Don't Look Now. So a bit of the old, a bit of the new, but
Mm,
it sounds like she knows her shit. So
yeah.
Nina Artisan, thank you for that one. And then Charlie Jar UK, big shout out. She saw June. She actually knows someone in June. So she's very, very linked up. So Charlie Jar UK said she loves June as well, and she wants everyone to go and see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Trust
think
me.
those are our. Oh, and Joey underscore NW91 again. He was talking about the what's his name, Dave Chappelle show, actually Closer.
Yes.
So yeah, he was
Yes.
talking about that show, saying how it's just like the way things happen in today's society. What you can say, what you can't say, and he reckons it's going to spill over a bit more. There's going to be a lot more talk about it. Can people get cancelled? Can you cancel Dave Chappelle? I mean, is that possible?
Well, you know what?
Does he care?
I guarantee you people are trying. I bet you people are trying. And you know what, Devout, let's save that. Let's just park that for a little bit and let's
Yeah,
come back to that
talk
on
about
the
it later.
streaming
Yeah,
bit
cool.
and we'll speak a couple of minutes just on that
Yeah,
because
yeah,
last
yeah,
week
yeah.
we've got to do it.
Okay.
But
Also,
listen,
you can
like
place
to
a prize,
go on.
prize, prize. So this week, again,
Sorry, man.
write a quick review. Let us know where you posted it, and you can win this week. You can win a cinema ticket to either Odeon or View to watch a film of your choice. This week, coming soon, Eternals is coming out, so maybe you want to use it for that. So there you go. So just do that and let us know. And Bob's your uncle. You get your prize.
You're going to get exactly seriously. It's a great prize, and yeah, just
Mm,
do it, and you could be watching a movie. Let us know about it. All right, listen, look, Deval, let's get on to movie news. And I read about this Zack Snyder's Justice League Part Two,
yeah.
and I thought he was like the way I kind of saw it, a while ago was I thought he was done with the whole kind of like he wasn't going to add anything extra, or there isn't is there appetite for us to see a Justice League Part Two?
I think from the core DC sort of fans, the fans that also put out the I think there was a petition, wasn't there, about release the Schneider cut. Remember, release the Schneider cut.
We
That
spoke about it
that
on the
grew,
show.
yeah, that grew a lot of momentum for people like that. People like us, we want part two because part two. Remember, it ended where the Justice League were looking down the sort of tunnel, sort of portal at Darkseid. Darkseid had been defeated, sort of semi-defeated, and it looked like Darkseid was ready to retaliate and go and get his anti-life equation. So a part two would be crazy. Whether there's a
Mm,
budget for it, that's the big question. There's definitely an appetite for it. So
yeah,
I guess
yeah,
time will tell. But they're saying that possibly it could come out in 2023, which is 2 years' time.
yeah.
But yeah, I hope it happens. Really, I really hope it happens.
And just on that, a lot of people, they want to see the whole Superman turning bad thing.
Yeah,
Like, there's this kind of we've kind of seen a bit of it in Superman 3, but I mean, yeah, there's this kind of whole thing, and yeah, it would be kind of cool just to see like how crazy like shit would get to, because Superman, he's
mm,
like all powerful, man. It's just
yeah,
like if he
yeah,
turns bad,
yeah.
you better be running, man.
Exactly.
All right, okay. Now here's a blast from the past, John Woo. Now, folks,
Mm,
if you don't know or if you haven't heard of the name John Woo, this Hong Kong film director, really, really great back in the day. He transitioned over to Hollywood, and remember, Deval, you know this, and we've spoken about it on the show.
yeah.
Face Off. Uh, he did a Jean Claude Van Damme movie, Hard Target,
Mm,
and he did Mission Impossible Part Two and everything.
yeah.
And so it's great to hear his name, but what's going on?
Yeah, from what I hear, he's coming back to Hollywood like 20
Wow.
odd years later, and he's looking to make a really unique film. Do you remember Joel Kinnaman from
Yep.
Suicide Squad, House of
Yeah, Rick.
Cards, the recent RoboCop?
Yep.
Really tall guy. So yeah, he's looking to make a film with him, and the film's going to be called Silent. Is it called Silent Night? Yeah, Silent Night. And the unique thing is that this film is going to be like no dialogue. It's not going to be a
Wow.
silent film because it's going to be sound. We're going to hear explosions and all the gunplay stuff like that. But there's going
Yeah.
to be no dialogue. That is going to be really hard to pull off. I'm sure we're going to see plenty of white doves flying around, flapping their wings.
Trust me.
Go, I'm sure they're going to be talking, but the film will have no dialogue. So I just want to see how this is going to
How
happen.
they
It's
pull
going
it
to be
off.
really interesting. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting
Yeah.
to see that happen. Definitely. So
And
look out for that one.
was
Mm.
he in Alter Carbon? No, he wasn't
Yes,
the
he
one who was in
was.
Alt.
He
All
was
right,
in
okay.
season one. He was the first altered carbon guy in
He was
season.
the
No,
first
hold
one.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in season one, and then it was Anthony Mackie in season two.
In season two. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
All right, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, he's good. He's interesting, and we've obviously just seen him recently in the Suicide Squad. So yeah,
yeah.
let's keep our eyes on that one. Now, Ana de Armas. Let's
Hmm.
speak about her. Deval. She's a great, great actor, and she's been around. Like she's been in a few films here and there. I remember seeing her in Knock Knock with
Oh, knock
Keanu
knock with
Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. Yes, and this is another little link, isn't it? Mm.
Yeah, exactly. And then we saw her in what was the Who Done It one?
Blade Runner 2046. She was in that.
Blade Runner 2046, that one.
Yeah.
And then remember the whole kind of the Who Done It murder with the Agatha Christie type of a movie.
Oh, Knives Out. Yes, yes, yeah. She
Knives
was in
Out.
Knives Out. Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah,
was the star of
yeah.
that one, and obviously James Bond. But this is kind
Mm.
of like interesting because what are they talking about? James, like kind of connected to the James Bond ish role.
Yeah, James Bond ish. And again, she's going to be linking up with Keanu Reeves again. But yeah, so the news is that reportedly Ana de Armas is going to be playing uh, a a role as a ballerina. And I
Ooh.
don't mean dancing around, spinning around, pirouetting. I mean ballerina is in like it's going to be linked to John Wick. So I think that her
Um,
history, maybe she was trained as a ballerina in disguise, but she's really an assassin of some sort. The story is that she comes out of retirement because she wants to avenge the death or the killing of her family. So
okay.
it's definitely in the vein of John Wick. It's in that universe. There's news that John Wick himself, Keanu Reeves, might also show up in this movie.
Yeah.
But it looks like, I mean, we've seen a taste of what she's capable of in No Time to Die, and I think
Well,
people
you've
wanted a
seen
lot
it.
more. Yeah, so yeah, and also, I mean, she's you mentioned a few films she's been in. Did you know she's also going to be in a Marilyn Monroe film? I mean, I
Oh
can see the
no.
looks. I can see the looks of,
Shit.
she's got this sort of big eyes and sort of,
Glamorous look,
yeah,
hasn't
the
she?
face shape and all that kind of stuff. Obviously they
Yeah.
can make her blonde, but I don't know how she's going to sound. But obviously she can work on that.
Oh, yeah,
But yeah,
exactly, man.
but yeah,
Seriously, no,
she's
she's
going to
great.
be, yeah, definitely. So,
Yeah, because we're hearing a lot about kind of like the John Wick stuff, aren't we? Like last week's show, we spoke about Mel Gibson. He's going to be doing
mm,
something related to the John Wick universe,
mm.
and obviously it gets expanded. Because I'm just thinking, how long can? I mean, I'm pretty sure he could probably do it for a long time, but how much more does he want to go on, Keanu Reeves,
I
like in
heard
doing
two
John
more.
Wick?
I heard two more films. I think,
Wow,
yeah, I think there could be a fifth. There could be a fifth. If the fourth one is as
wow,
good as it should be, I
yeah.
reckon a five should do it. That would be enough. I mean, I think three is enough, but people want more.
People want more, man. This
Mm,
guy, seriously, people love these. All right, okay. Let's talk about Dune Part Two. Now,
mm,
you mentioned this on the review. You said this is a movie that has to be seen on the big screen, and you can, if you want to. So, our listeners in North America, you can catch this on HBO Max. I know it's out there,
yeah.
but listen to what Deval's saying. He's saying watch it on the big screen, obviously if you can. And the news was we didn't know if there was going to be kind of like a part one, if there was going to be a
Mm,
part two. But just recently, they've just confirmed this. Deval, this is kind of like news out of the last kind of like couple of days. You knew it, and I knew it was going to
yeah,
happen.
yeah.
But part two has been confirmed by Legendary Pictures and Warner Brothers. So both
Mm,
revealing that there is going to be a new Dune film. And you mentioned the ending of the first part. They've kind of left it open, obviously,
yeah,
and it sets the second part up nicely, right?
yeah. You kind of feel, even if you haven't seen the original one, which I saw literally on the same day,
Yeah,
the modern version ends on a cliffhanger where you just know more is happening because he meets up with this new with the what they call it again, the Ferren,
right.
the with Zendaya's people, the blue-eyed people, and it's just unfinished business. So you just know a lot more is going to happen. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's just I guess it's a formality now, saying that there's going to be a part two.
yeah. So what we're looking at a three-parter right now.
Oh, no, I think a two-parter. I think
It's
it's
just
going to
going
be
to be a
it should be a
two-parter.
two-parter. Yeah, it should be a two-parter. Yeah,
All
that
right,
should be
okay.
enough.
That sounds really great. Seriously, I'm looking forward to watching it, and it's, like I said before, it's coming out here in December.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm going to be keep waiting. But listen, check this out. Talk about several parters. Transformers: Rise of the
Oh,
Beasts.
oh gosh.
Transformers: Rise of the Beast. Now, this is kind of like a sequel to Bumblebee. Remember we watched
Yeah,
Bumblebee a couple of years ago? Good movie. I
2018.
liked it.
Yeah, yeah.
They kind of went back old school. But check this out. So Transformers: Rise of the Beast has filmed. It's wrapped,
Oh,
and apparently there's a new look. Optimus Prime is looking different because it's set in the year 1994, Deval.
they're going back. Okay,
Because
1994.
remember,
Yeah,
it was because remember Bumblebee was set in the 80s. That
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
80s, wasn't it?
yeah,
Mid
yeah.
80s or something.
I think so. Yeah. Okay,
And this is what the director had to
1994.
say. He goes, I want to discover more about Optimus Prime, get underneath the surface, get underneath the metal, if you would, and explore who he is and his experience on Earth, said director Stephen Capel Jr. So it's called Rise of the Beasts.
Hmm.
And you know what? Yeah, we'll have to just wait and see when that comes out.
I'm not looking forward to that though. Oh,
It's
yeah,
1994, New York.
New York. Okay, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna have my high hopes on
High
that one.
hopes, exactly.
Yeah,
It's how many? I mean, how many have they made now? Like, is this the kind of like the fifth one or sixth one or something?
I think it's ooh, if we're counting Bumblebee, I think it'll be the seventh. I
Jeez.
think it'll be the seventh because there was three regular ones with Shia LaBeouf, and then was there one with Mark Wahlberg or
Mark
two with Mark
Wahlberg.
Wahlberg? I can't remember. There was one that Anthony Hopkins was in. I can't remember what the knight one, like King Arthur kind of one, and then obviously
Mm-mm.
Bumblebee. So yeah, I've
Yeah.
lost count. They
Yeah.
kind of get except for Bumblebee, they were kind of getting worse.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, listen, look,
Yeah.
we'll keep you posted on that one. So fans of Transformers, there's going to be a new film coming out. All right, now let's speak about Ice Cube, who probably I can't remember if he's been featured on our movie news before, but Ice Cube and Money. So what's going on there, Deval?
Hmm. Oh my gosh. So yeah, Ice Cube. We've seen him in like Ride Along and
Yeah.
obviously Friday and a whole bunch of other, stuff. But yeah, he was set to be in a movie with Jack Black called Hell No. And he was going to be paid reportedly $9 million dollars for that,
Ooh,
which is good money if you
it's
can get it.
cool.
Good money. It's actually way more than, Chris Evans got in Captain America 1.
Damn.
He reportedly he only got paid like 300 grand for that. So this is a good payday. But yeah, he actually said they asked him to get vaccinated, basically, COVID,
Right.
and he said, "Hell no." They said, "Yeah, that's the name of that's the name of the film, Ice Cube," and he said, "Yeah, hell no." They said, "Yeah, that's the name of the film, Ice Cube." He said, "No, hell no, I'm not getting vaccinated." So because of that, he's now
Uh,
not in the movie. He's now not in the movie. That's it. He's out.
Damn.
Now they've
So
got to
he
find
just
someone
basically
else.
said goodbye to 9 mil.
Yeah, exactly. For that money, they can inject me with whatever they want. Yeah, I'll take my chances.
I reckon. I mean, who would be kind of like who would you want? Who would you reckon they would go for next after that?
It depends. I mean, you got
What they're
I don't
going
know.
for, right?
It depends what kind of character. I don't know what kind of character he was going to play and stuff. Obviously, I'm sure they're going to go for another brother, but then what kind of tone? They don't want someone who's a funny
Mm,
guy. They want someone who's a bit serious.
yeah.
I kind of see Ice Cube as a bit serious to work with someone who's funny, just like it was with Ride Along. You know,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Exactly.
it
You need that.
depends. I really don't know, but yeah, it's set them
What
back
about
basically.
Wesley? What about Wesley Snipes? Or is he kind of like
Okay.
maybe a bit too old now for it? Or
It depends. Yeah, maybe he. I mean, yeah. Can I see him with Jack Black? Probably not.
I mean,
But
that would be
you know,
weird, man.
stranger things have happened.
Exactly. Stranger things have happened. All right,
Yep.
listen. Look, we'll keep you kind of posted on all those bits of news, folks. Remember, keep it locked with the Flixters. We're going to be bringing you more movie news. And remember, there's so much stuff that we read and go through, and it's just kind of
Mm,
like curating all that sort of stuff. So yeah, keep it locked with us, and we'll definitely keep you posted. Now let's move on to streaming. New on streaming. Now we were supposed to speak about this on last week's episode. Let's just spend a few moments. Deval, I want to get your take on this because you saw Dave Chappelle
yeah.
live
Yeah.
in London,
Yeah.
and millions of obviously people around the world are obviously watching this on Netflix. But his final Netflix special called The Closer is closing out his kind of like six specials and everything
Yeah.
like that, right? There's a lot of controversy, but what was your take on seeing him live?
Yeah. He's good. He's crazy good.
Yeah,
Just he's like a it's like a one big conversation.
yeah,
Doesn't
yeah,
feel like a stand up, sketch performance. He just has a conversation with the crowd about all kinds of stuff, and you're just there's serious parts in it, so where you shouldn't laugh, and
yeah.
there's parts where you can't help but laugh.
Laugh.
But it's the same. It's like the energy, obviously, in the live setting is really good compared to when you watch it at home, but
Yeah,
you don't lose out on any of the quality. Yeah, he is like who he is. He just has
yeah.
one mic, one stall, and he just works it.
He just goes for it,
Patient,
doesn't he?
doesn't rush. Yeah, just
Yeah,
patient.
exactly. And on on this kind of like Netflix special, this guy, right? He isn't afraid to like tackle jokes around
Mm,
about like obviously, you know, homosexuality
yeah,
and like pedophiles, like
yeah,
all that sort of. This guy will go down
yeah,
some dark places, and a lot of
mm,
people will obviously take offense to that. And I know that there's a lot of controversy because the transgender community has kind of come out and said like he's transphobic, and this Netflix special is basically him hurting the
mm,
community. But I just want to quickly say this: he gives this one story, right, about he speaks about a kind of like a person that he knew called
mm,
Daphne, who was
yeah,
part of the community. And you know what, man, it was heartfelt, and
yeah,
it was like it kind of gets to the heart of what he's trying to say and everything like that, man. But yeah, I thought it was a really good show. And we had someone, a Flixters listener, who kind of is part of that community and said they
yeah.
didn't feel offended by it.
Offended. Yeah. But I think we live in a very sensitive society, and when you've got a platform, anything you say is magnified basically. So
Yeah,
a lot of people are really careful, but obviously he still feels like he's got the freedom to say what he's got to say, which he has.
yeah,
But obviously some things will have consequences and stuff. I mean, Netflix employees, especially from this community, were they were going to have a walkout in
yeah,
Netflix. They were really just really upset about it. So it's mixed. It's a mixture. But end of the day, I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm not from that
yeah.
community, so maybe that's
Sure.
why I didn't really understand it, possibly. But
Yeah.
he cusses everyone. He cusses himself. He
He,
cusses all kinds. So it's all part of the comedy, isn't it? So
exactly,
everyone
man.
gets it.
He tackles like like I said before, he tackles race.
Yeah.
Like there's all these different issues that are going on. Like about being in America, and just kind of like he
Mm,
did another show just very recently, and he's just basically turned around and said, "Look, I said what I said." and I'm willing to have a conversation
Yeah.
with, with the community and everything like that. So,
Mm.
he what he's trying to say is he will have a debate,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
which is what, obviously, we should be having, like,
Yeah.
these interesting debates. All right, so that's The Closer. Go check it out on Netflix, and let us know what you think. Now, this next one also on Netflix, Devout, I haven't seen
Mm.
this, and you've seen, like, you've seen this. So this is called Oats Studios, and yeah, man, tell us about this, because I'm hearing some really good things about it.
Yeah, Oat Studios is from Neil Blomkamp. Is that his name?
Yeah,
That's his name, isn't it? Blomkamp,
yeah.
the one that brought us District 9, Chappie.
Yep.
What's the other one with Matt Damon? I can't remember what it's called now, but
Elysium.
Elysium. Yeah, so very
Yeah.
dystopian type, futuristic, sci-fi, all kinds of shit going on. But yeah, Oat Studio basically is a series of shorts on Netflix, and it's actually really good. It's really good. The shorts are not linked in any way, so each episode is very standalone. But you got all kinds of like alien invasions type thing
Uh,
going on. You got animation. You've got there's a couple of funny ones there. It's just all different sci-fi. Think of how Chappie is and stuff like
right.
that. And District 9, it is good. So Sigourney Weaver's in one episode.
Is it? Okay,
They
good.
were meant to work together on a new Alien film. Do you remember a
Yep.
while ago? But yeah, it's decent. I watched it all in one evening, and I'll say if you got some time, go ahead and watch it. You don't have to all you don't have to do it all at once, but because they're really small, like 10 minutes, 9 minutes, you can just eat away at it. But it's really good. Go and watch it right now.
Yeah, I'm
Literally, if
gonna
you like
check it out,
sci-fi,
man.
go do it.
Yeah, yeah, he's
Really
really
good.
good. And remember, we're still waiting for. I think they're talking about there was going to be like another District 9 movie, like a sequel to that. So yeah,
Mm.
it'd be interesting to see. All right, okay. Now the other one is There's Someone in Your House, and obviously,
Oh
it's Halloween,
gosh.
and it's it's like, they came at Netflix came up with a spate of kind of like, these horror, these horror
Yeah.
films. But yeah, tell us about this one,
I'm
about.
surprised they didn't release Fear Street around this time. I think that would
Oh,
have done a lot better.
that would have killed it.
But yeah, there's someone in your house is yeah. I watched it thinking, oh, this might be good, but it was just like Scream, but a modern
Right.
version. It was
Okay.
sort of film that you think, okay, MTV's made it because there's all this music in the background that you think, oh,
Okay.
it's just music and like teenagers and just obviously the killings are quite gruesome. They're getting stabbed and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's just it's nothing new. I watched it and thought, oh man, I could have watched something else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
totally,
you
totally.
can watch it if you like that sort of thing. Slasher. It's mildly entertaining, but it's not great. But yeah,
Okay,
that's what I'm going to say about that. Really,
great. That's a great little review there.
that's what I'm
Look,
going
there
to
you
say.
go. Go check them out, folks, and remember, let us know what you think about them on our Instagram page. If you do see any of that sort of stuff, obviously tag us,
Yeah.
and we will join in on the conversation. All right, new trailers.
Mm.
So the first one, The Black Phone. So Deval, tell us about this one, man.
Yeah, the Black Phone. So this one's Ethan Hawke. I think we
Mm,
mentioned this a little while ago. This is a
yeah.
film about a phone where basically Ethan Hawke is something wrong in this film. He seems to be kidnapping children, and bless me, that's the first
It's-
sneeze I've done on the show. You know that all this time. But he kidnaps children, puts them in this room. In this room, there's a black phone, and the phone is not connected to anything. But if the kid in the person that he's kidnapped, they pick up the phone and hear voices, and the
oh my
voices are of
gosh.
previously kidnapped and killed children speaking to this kid who's trapped in the room trying to help them to escape. Or it comes across spooky at first, but I
Yeah.
think the spirits are trying to help this kid escape. But it looks decent. And yeah, Ethan Hawke is definitely a baddie in this. It
Oh
looks like a
man,
decent film
he's
that's coming out. I
creepy.
think it's in January actually. I think it's January, not anytime soon. But yeah, it looks like a decent film. It
Yeah,
looks like a
yeah.
decent
No,
film. It should have come out now, I think. But hey, what can I do?
yeah, 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 man. Nice. Yeah, it sounds decent. All right,
Yeah,
okay. Now let's speak about this one. The Witcher season 2 is going to be coming, and do we know when this is actually going to be hitting Netflix, Deval?
just before December. I think the 23rd or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, because it's
Yeah,
been a
so
while since we've seen, or well, the last this Witcher season 1 was what,
I think
2019, wasn't it?
yeah, 2019 December again. Yeah,
Yeah, and obviously, our mate Henry Cavill.
yep,
Um, bring in more of that gruff voice and like new
Yeah,
adventures and new kind of like threats and things like that. But yeah, this looks good, man.
this looks decent. The last time we saw Geralt of Rivia, he was trying to find Ciri, and Ciri was the other person in it, the young lady who has powers as well. We've got
Yeah,
Yennefer, who has
Yennefer.
a very, very disturbed background, and she's trying
Oh,
to, find herself. And yeah, her story is really deep actually. But in this one, it looks like all hell's breaking loose. People are literally, they're developing their powers. There's people that are trying to kill them. There's more magic. There's more mystery. There's more monsters, and this is going to be great again. I think this is going to be.
yeah.
I hope it's not as season one was a bit. It was good, but it was a
There was
bit
some,
confusing at times. It was a bit
yeah.
a bit much. I hope
You know
this one's
what?
a
There
bit
was
more
a few
simple to
lull.
follow.
There was like it lulled a bit. There was like a few moments where it was, but I want to see more. You know, Geralt of Rivia in the books and in the
Mm,
games, he does more
mm.
magic, doesn't he? I want to see
Yes,
him to use magic.
no, you're right. You're right. And I think they didn't want to give us too much too soon. They wanted us
Right.
to sort of build and sort of develop with him. In
Yeah.
this one, I think we'll get a lot more of that.
Well, I hope so, man.
I
So
think
that's
so.
going to be coming out this December. And remember, December's
Yeah.
already going to be packed out because we've got um,
Spider Man, Matrix. I mean,
and Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. That's out in November actually, 24th. We've also got
Ah,
Book of Boba Fett in December.
oh
December's
man.
a good month.
Seriously,
Good
it's
month.
going to be huge. And
Hmm.
we'll obviously be right there with you folks, holding your hand, watching these programs and letting you how it all goes. All right, okay. And this last one,
Yep.
yeah, man, this was interesting. This kind of came out of the blue for me. I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, yeah, I didn't really know they were working on this. But Lightyear, and if that
Mm.
name sounds familiar, it's the character from the Toy Story movies, Buzz Lightyear. But they're doing something a bit different with this, Deval. It's kind of in the Toy Story movies, the Buzz Lightyear is obviously a toy, right?
Mm.
And what they're doing with this new movie is showing us that that toy is based off of a real character
Yeah.
in the Pixar like universe type of a thing, and it's called Lightyear, and it's
Yeah.
voiced by
Who's it voiced by? Tom Hanks? No.
Captain America.
Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't realize that,
Yes.
Chris
Yeah,
Evans. I didn't
it's
realize
Chris
that.
Evans. And
Oh,
there was a little bit of a thing online that I was reading. They were like, why couldn't they bring back Tim Allen? Because
Tim Allen. Yeah.
he does the voice of Buzz Lightyear in the Toy Story movies.
Mm.
And a lot of people are saying it's because of his political views, because he's a bit, shall we say, like kind of like Trump leaning.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he's kind of a bit of
Okay.
a he's like kind of like a bit like I think he's a Republican and he's kind of like a bit
Mm.
on more on the right. And what they're saying is that that might have been an influence
Swayed
in what.
the money. He would have swayed people watching it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a shame you can't have your views and still have work. You know what I mean? It's not like he's going
Gina
around,
Carano. That's all I'm going to say. Gina Carano.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a bit. That's what I'm saying. We live in a sensitive society, and with
Yeah,
Disney, all they care about money, the board, and all that kind of stuff. So you got to be really clean cut and just not be, swaying in either way. You got to be with the masses, basically.
exactly. And just on that, do you remember the news about Letitia Wright
No,
about the whole the vaccination and about the whole COVID thing?
no.
And I thought,
Chewy, Letitia
I
Wright.
yes, I thought there was a moment where I was like, shit, don't tell me they're going to cancel her.
What happened?
And because she basically came out and said something like, oh, like, you don't have to get vaccinated if you don't want to go. She was basically
Okay,
vocal, like a while ago. And then people was turning around saying, oh, uh, like she
shut
can't
up.
be in the new Marvel movies.
Is
They were
it?
trying to cancel her as well. So it's a lot of this shit going on, man.
Wow. Okay. Ooh,
We
damn.
don't have that much of a following for us to be cancelled, so I think we're all right.
Exactly.
All right, let's do anniversary corner, Devaldo. And you've already
Yeah.
mentioned this before, so
Yeah.
let's take it away.
So yeah, so this one is 10 years old now. This one is The Thing, and
Mm,
this is from like I said, 2011. This one stars what's her name again? My gosh, Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
yeah,
And you know what? When I actually think about it, she has been in some really good
good
films.
movies. Yeah,
Like Scott Pilgrim. That was
yes,
also 20. That was 2011, was it? Shit,
yeah,
it might have been. But yeah,
and
she was in Scott.
that's a connection to one of the movies that you're going to speak about.
Exactly. I was 50-50 as putting in Scott Pilgrim or The Thing. But the thing, yeah, it's good. It's literally, oh man, it's the best remake or prequel I've seen from a really good classic that really keeps with the formula of the
Yeah,
original, but
yeah.
has a slightly different feel to it. It gives the people the the background of what happened in the thing, because the thing is this situation that's already happened,
Mm,
and these people now are dealing with it. And the thing, see, prequel, it takes you back to when things started. So it's a good film. It's rated
yeah.
6.2 in IMDb, but I would actually rate it a 7
Give it. Yeah, yeah.
or
Definitely
higher.
higher
But
than
it's a
that.
good film. So I recommend, if you can see the thing, 2011, watch it. Literally, some of the sort of the sets or the situations that you see in the original, like you see them go into a room where people have died and the
Yeah,
monsters all frozen and stuff like that. You get to see what happened and how that happened.
yeah,
It's a good
yeah.
film. Also stars Joel Edgerton.
Yep.
It stars Adewale Akanwu.
Yeah, yeah,
Also stars, who else does it star? It stars a few Norwegian and sort of Scandinavian actors. Some of them that we probably will recognize,
yeah.
because I think the film is, or the set, or the where they go, because it's like a
Like on the Antarctic. No, no, no.
somewhere like that. Yeah. So I
Somewhere.
think it's,
Yeah, basically
yeah.
somewhere
So I think
cold.
they do have quite a few links to sort of Scandinavia and stuff. But yeah, do you know what? I'm going to say no more. Just go and watch this film.
Yeah,
I think right
exactly.
now it's on Amazon, and it used to be on Netflix, but I think it's off Netflix now. But if you can try and find it, go watch it. It's
Do
decent.
it, watch it. It's a
Mm,
decent movie. And the ending of this movie, seriously, it just
yeah,
literally just leads
yeah,
on to
yeah,
the beginning of The Thing,
yeah. They're
1982.
chasing the dog. At the end of
The
this movie, they're chasing the dog.
chasing the dog.
At the start of the original, the dog is being chased, and they don't know why this guy's trying to shoot the dog,
Yeah,
and we know why, but they don't understand.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a
It's
decent film. I'm glad you
good.
said
It's a
that. Yeah,
decent movie. All
yeah,
right, so listen, that kind of sets us because it's kind of like a sci-fi, kind of like horror,
yeah. But do you know what?
sci-fi genre horror. Yeah,
Sorry to keep talking about, but yeah, even Zakharov said the same thing about the dog, so he knows. But the thing about this, for me, horror isn't always blood and guts and knives and all that shit. Horror is also, like, in this film, in the original especially, and in this one, horror is about trust. Because
yeah.
this thing can be you, it can look like you, sound like you, and there's moments in the film where they don't know if you are who you are. You don't know if you are who you are,
And that's
and
scary.
the trust is all gone. No one trusts each other, and it is wicked. It's just
Yeah.
it's a great concept. So yeah,
It
go
is.
watch
It
it.
is. Yeah, yeah. Seriously, enough talking about that. All right. Okay. Listen. Look. Let's get on to the film
Yeah,
reviews now. Devout. Yeah, you're gonna have to obviously until we get to Night House because I've seen Night House and everything.
mm,
But yeah, this next movie, Antlers, which is a new release, and so Devout went out and watched this, and this is kind of a horror story, right?
yeah, yeah. I'll try and do sort of a semi quick review because we've got a
Yeah.
few films to do this week. But Antlers stars Jesse Plemons, and you know what? Whew, Antlers is a it's a decent film. Decent film. So Jesse Plemons he starts like a sheriff. He's a sheriff in this town, this desolate town.
Yeah.
Kerry Russell is his sister.
Right.
Directed by Scott Cooper. Their brother and sister. There's been some history. The sister has had an issue with the dad from years ago. I think she was abused actually by their dad. He's died, and she's now come to live with Jesse Plemons. He's a sheriff. She's a school teacher, and yeah, this town is desolate. It's depressing. It's cold. All that kind of shit. And she's a teacher of this young boy, whose dad is known in the town to be quite a dickhead.
Right.
But he was off in this cave making meth, and he came across this beastly noise.
Oh my
This
gosh.
beastly noise turns out to be this creature that has antlers, hence the
Oh my
name Antlers.
gosh.
So he's infected by this creature. Long story short, is that the young boy, his son, somehow is now the guardian of this antlers. This his dad, who's slowly mutating into this creature, and he locks him in the room in the house. So bit by bit, his dad is now transforming from human to this hideous creature. Uh, and in
Uh,
Native American history, there's a history of this creature, which is actually real history, and they talk about it in the film. But the thing that got me about this film is that Yes, it's like a horror film. Yes, it's a monster film, but it's very, because there's kids involved. Like the kid is the person that locks the door and keeps this creature in the house, and slowly goes out hunting for animals and feeds the creature to try and stop the creature from, breaking out and all kinds of shit. But
Damn.
it's deep. It's deep because only certain films. There's only certain films where the kids are not safe. When when horror films, I don't want to spoil it too much, but when horror films deal with kids in
Yeah,
this way, that's when you know that film's serious. When kids are
exactly.
not safe, shit, anything could happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And in
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
film, you see it. I ain't gonna spoil it too much, but there's a couple of scenes where, like, the kids are not safe, man, and this
Oh,
creature just deals with people. It looks nasty. It's
yeah,
just grotesque. There's killings that happen, and the police find the body, and they're like, I don't know anything that's done this before. This is no animal.
right.
The bite marks are human, and the police are like shook. The autopsy person's like, shit, what is this? So yeah, it's a decent film. It's scary. It's moody. It
Yeah.
pulls you in. It's well acted, even by the kids as well. They're good as well. So yeah, if you like sort of horror films that
Sounds
are a bit
good,
different,
man.
it's a decent film. It's a decent film. I will say I've not seen a good horror monster film in a while. This one
Yeah,
is very low key, not very. All the special effects and stuff isn't too much. They hide it away
yeah,
and
yeah.
reveal it to you at the right time. But it's a decent film, I must say. There's only one silly part in the film. I'm not going to say when it happens, but there's a bit where the monster is sort of fighting with someone, and all of a sudden the monster's got no mobility, and this person's fighting it, and it's like, oh, come on, man.
Oh
But apart
shit.
from that, yeah, it's a good film. It's worth seeing.
Yeah.
If you can see Antlers, go and watch it.
Wicked, that sounds good. And this director, I mean, I just had a quick look. He
Mm.
directed this movie which I really like called Hostiles, which
Oh
is
yes, oh, with
do you remember
Batman. With
that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
With
was a deep
Batman in it?
film.
That
And
was a
again,
deep
there's a
film.
link there to Native
Native
Americans.
American.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
So he's kind of like, yeah, so that's interesting as well. So yeah, man, it sounds really, really good. Antlers. And I
Okay.
remember Devout. Oh, Jesus. Do you remember when we spoke about this on the new one trailers? We saw this trailer a while ago. I'm talking about ages ago. And we were like, oh, this film looks deep.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The trailer does it justice. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
brilliant. All right, so that's Antlers. And the next big release that we're going to be speaking about, folks, is a new Edgar Wright movie. And
Mm.
we mentioned Scott Pilgrim. He was the director of that. He's director of Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead and kind of like, Baby Driver and stuff like that. So he's directed this new movie called One Night in Soho.
Yeah.
And we saw the trailer. I remember watching the trailer and I couldn't put my finger on it on like what type of a movie is it, horror movie, is it kind of like just like a thriller and like a murder mystery type of a thing. But obviously Devout, you went out and watched it. Yeah, what's your take on this?
Yeah, you're right. I couldn't tell what it was going to be. When we first spoke about it, I thought it was going to be just a regular horror. But this
Yeah,
is a bit of an interesting film. Last Night in Soho stars Tomzin McKenna. Is that her name? Yeah, Tomzin McKenna. Also Anya Taylor Joy, Matt Smith, and also is it Diane Rigg, who was
right,
in
who was
Game
in
of Thrones, who sadly
yeah,
passed away.
the Queen of
And
Thorns.
yes, exactly. Yeah, 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 exactly. So yeah, it's a good film. And what the premise is, uh, that Tomzin McKenna's character, sorry, Tomzin McKenzie's character, she is a fashion student. She's from outside London. I think it's Cornwall or somewhere like that. And she goes to London College of Fashion to be a designer. And but she's also got issues in the past. Her mother committed suicide, unfortunately, and since then, I think she's able to see her mother's spirit.
Ooh.
So she's literally seeing dead people. And so she goes to London. It's quite emotional going to London. She's away from her family and stuff, and she rents out this house that's got a history, a really dark history, and some things that have happened there. Now, Anya Taylor Joy's character is from the late '60s. She was in London. She was trying to do her thing, be a dancer, singer, and she got with Matt Smith, who's like a promoter and a ladies' man. Some things happened with Anya Taylor Joy's character Matt Smith. It didn't work out like it should have. I'm not going to spoil it, but some shit happened. Some shit went down. Tomzin Mackenzie's character sees that
Mm.
she goes to sleep basically, or she'll look in the mirror or something, and she'll see Anya Taylor Joy in her reflection, and she'll be living her life in her dreams through her. So she's seen all the events that's happened, and she
Yeah.
slowly thinks she's going mad because she's seeing things that have happened that she knows is real, but no one believes her. She's
Wow.
seeing ghosts. She's seeing people that have died, and she's seen. That's where the horror comes into it. But it's really a film about mental health as well, because people go through mental health and they have issues and stuff, and not everyone that sees or feels what they're going through understands. But it's really well made. It's all based in London, literally Soho. You
Yeah.
reckon if you're from London, you recognize all the streets and stuff, the fashion. But yeah, definitely. Tamsin Mackenzie's character, she's a really good actress. Tamsin Mackenzie, I should say, she's a really good actress. We saw
Yeah.
her in Leave No Trace a
Oh.
while ago. Leave No Trace,
Yeah.
yeah, really good film, 2018.
Yeah.
And she was also in Jojo Rabbit. She was also in Old recently as well.
Okay.
She's a really good actress. I think she's Australian, something like that. I
Is
don't
it?
know. Yeah,
Okay.
Australian, man.
Wow. And
But
like,
yeah, this film. Yeah, so go ahead.
no, all I was gonna say was like this is something. This is a genre which is new from Edgar Wright, right?
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't have any of the ingredients of his old films. It's very very different.
Mm.
Doesn't have the distinct Edgar Wright sort of
Like the
vibe.
comedy, right?
No, not at all, not at all. This is quite a serious film. There's one bit of comedy I saw in the film, and that was it. One bit of comedy.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a different film. It's very different. It's not going to be for everyone. I reckon it's not going to be for everyone. But if
Yeah.
you stick with it, watch it. It's different. Yeah, that's what I can say. All the
Nice.
all the young actresses in this film, or both the young actresses in this film, are really good. They really drive the film in
Yeah.
in the differences in their characters and stuff. But it's definitely a film I think worth watching. I enjoyed it. Didn't fall asleep. Enjoyed it much more than Halloween Kills.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely had a bit more to it, a bit more character, a bit more oomph, and more levels to it actually. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow,
decent
that's really
film,
good.
really
And
decent film.
and and like Anya Taylor Joy. I mean, the rise of Anya
Yeah,
Taylor Joy
she's
devout. I
a
mean, she's just getting bigger and better, isn't she?
she's always good. Yeah, she's good. Whatever she does, she's good.
Yeah.
She's got this distinct look about her, and
Yeah.
you kind of believe her and whatever she does. So she's still young, man. She's still young. So
And I reckon she's gonna be in the well, like leading her own Marvel movie at some point, or
there
like
you go.
it's gonna happen, man. All right, so listen, that's the Last Night in Soho. So go check that one out. And again, obviously, if you see the movie, if you see any of these movies, please do let us know. And if you win the prize, you could be watching that movie as well. So that's your choice. Now, the next movie, the final movie that we're going to be speaking about is called The
Mhm.
Night House. Now, I've actually seen this movie. We've actually, I remember watching this movie a while ago, and this movie, Devout, has actually been out for a while, but I
Yeah, I
think the
know.
release has only
It's
been,
delayed.
it was delayed release, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And
delayed.
this one is yeah, so it's called The Night House and it stars Rebecca Hall. And
Mm.
for a long time I was like, yeah, oh, Rebecca Hall, like, yeah, she's a great American actress. And then I heard her like in an interview, she's actually British. And
Is she?
she's actually
Oh
British.
my
And do you
gosh.
remember her in The Town?
Yeah,
I think I
and
first
Iron
saw her
Man
in
3 as well.
Iron Man 3. She's done loads of, and we saw her in the Professor Marston. Remember the Wonder Woman movie?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. She's British. Fucking heck.
She's British. I tell you what, man, Brits can do amazing American
And
accents,
Australians, yeah,
and
yeah.
Australians as well. Really good at accents and stuff.
Mm.
So yeah,
This
so
film,
I
this film's the same director as Ritual. You know that?
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
Ritual. Yeah,
great movie.
Southbound. Another good film. The
Yep,
Signal.
The
VHS.
Signal as well.
Yeah.
Produced by David S. Goyer, who
Mm.
Batman is behind the
Yep.
Batman
Yep.
movies.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
kind of like good little pedigree, obviously behind this movie. And I remember watching the trailer for this a while, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds interesting, and this looks interesting." And basically, Rebecca Hall, her character is she's grieving. So we find her, at the
Mm.
beginning of the movie, she's grieving. Her husband's passed away, and she's in this big it's this big house in the middle of nowhere, and it's that thing that I'm noticing a lot now in horror movies or kind of like thriller movies is, you know, the secluded house in the middle of the sticks. It already gives you like that creepy vibe, and obviously, you know, the opening shots of the movie, it
Mm,
looks really creepy. So she's grieving, she's upset, but she's also angry. We find out that her husband, you know, kills himself, and she's pissed off. She wants answers, and slowly, as the movie unravels,
mm.
you kind of realize that the husband was into some crazy shit, the
Crazy
occult.
shit.
Yeah. So there's kind of like weird stuff going on. Like there's at one point there's kind of like a voodoo doll in there, and you like the movie starts kind of like shifting gears and whatnot. And she's really great, by the way. The film rests on her performance, and she kind of has
Mm,
to deal. She has to be this woman who's obviously grieving, but at the same time who's pissed off and still trying to uncover who her husband was. And as the movie kind of like progresses, you realize he wasn't the person that she knew, and he had affairs, or maybe or not he didn't have affairs, and there's kind of like a bit of a kind of macabre ending to the kind of like that everything. But yeah, Devout, it was kind of I listen, look, the movie's not boring.
mm.
It's not there were definitely moments in there where I was like, shit, this is actually really creepy. Like there's a moment in the movie where she wakes up at the middle of the night, and then the music
Shadow.
turns on. Oh, the
Oh yeah,
shadow.
yeah. The
Oh
shadow
my
scared me, man. When like
gosh,
you see a
in the
shadow of like a
doorway,
face or something, and then just looks.
the
Oh
two
man, the
eyes.
shadows.
I was
Yeah.
like, any normal person would get out
Mm-mm.
of the house and run. They would
Run.
just like get an Airbnb. Like, seriously, just
Yeah.
get the hell out of there. And this woman, she flipping stays in the house, and she's like
Mm,
speaking to the spirit or whatever it is, like, come,
mate.
let me see you, let me see you. And it's really clever in what they do. There's a incident that happens to her like off screen. We don't see this incident happen, but she talks about it, and that incident has an effect on the proceedings basically. And
Mm,
it's to do with the supernatural, and it's to do with the things like sometimes when you go to dark places, you go to dark places and you come out of dark places, but what do you bring back?
mm. Ooh, shit.
What comes back with you? What follows you, Deval?
Mm, mm,
I
mm,
don't even want to know. Like seriously,
mm,
it's this is crazy shit, Deval. Like
mm.
there's different planes, different kind of like realms,
Ah,
and
mate.
like we don't want to get stuck there, man.
No,
Seriously,
exactly.
no. So yeah, so like this the movie does really great at kind of building the tension, at kind of leading us into this kind of conclusion, and then it kind of like for me it faltered a little bit. But at the end, I kind of thought, yeah, you know what? It's an interesting movie. It's got kind of like
Mm,
some interesting things, and that idea about, you know, when you die, do you really die?
mm. And I think also it didn't have the same sort of linear pattern that a lot of these types of films have. There was some
Yeah,
surprises, like the relationship she had with her husband was like a hate love kind of thing. She didn't know who he was and the secrets he had, and this other house that he built. The sort of reflection of what their life was, and the sort of the almost a negative reflection of
yeah,
what he was trying to do with the spirits and all kinds of creepy shit.
yeah,
But
man.
it was different. I kind of, yeah, I think it was different. Like you say, it wasn't like up there, but for me, it was
Yeah,
still entertaining all the way
yeah.
actually. And even the way it ends thinking, shit, is
Shit,
everything okay?
I know.
You're not totally sure if she's fully okay or who it is that she is.
Yeah,
So it was a
absolutely.
bit interesting.
What got me though with those kind of those images, the shadow man, that was
Oh,
like,
mate, yeah, yeah,
man.
yeah.
If
Don't
you
mess
see
about.
that shit, you're gonna be
Don't mess
like,
about. Don't mess about.
don't mess about.
Mm.
Listen, look, folks. Listen, we're
Yeah.
gonna have to call it time on this episode because kind of three movies at you. Go
Mm.
check those movies out. Let us know what you think, and yeah, if you like them, let us know, and we'll speak about it on Instagram, and we'll speak about it on the next show. But yeah, Deval,
Yep.
next big movie for us is going to
Oh,
be
Eternals,
Avengers.
man.
Sorry, not Avengers.
Eternals
It's going to
next
be
week.
Eternals.
Yep, looking forward to that one.
Right.
That's going to be good. That's going to be good. Big show
Uh,
next week.
big show next week. All right, listen, folks, keep it locked with us. We hope you
Yep.
enjoyed the show. Remember to support us and write a review. Yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's it, guys. Peace out.
Doing this one more time, ladies and gentlemen. We're bringing you episode 100 and let me get this right, 162, Deval. And it's Halloween. We're recording this on Halloween. So for any listeners out there,
don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.